between your feet, your knees on the ground, if that feels good. If you need a little bit more cushion, you can always, of course, grab a blanket, slide it underneath your knees. We're going to start with just a little bit of breath work to hopefully get us up and moving if we're feeling a little sluggish. Maybe it's like the slump in your day. For me, those slumps get like larger and larger. So bringing in your breath and thinking about the way that your breath can almost like control or work with your nervous system is pretty incredible. So in yoga tradition, or in Ayurveda, which is like the sister science to yoga, it's the idea that you're looking at your body in two different parts, right? And so your right side of your body is your sun side, which evokes heat, energy. It's like this thinking of the sun, right? Like your go, 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 your drive. That is like associated primarily with your right side. And then your left side is the opposite. So like cooling, slow, gentle ease. And if we think of those two parts, we can also use our breath to move the energy, or we call it prana in yoga, in a particular way that can affect our nervous system. So to start, if we are like, our aim today is to like ramp things up a little bit. So we want to focus on like stimulating that right side of our body. So we'll start just with a little bit of breath. So close your eyes just for a moment. And I want you to start by just observing the breath. So breathing in all the way to the top. Breathing out all the way until you are empty. And do that a few times, just so you can really notice like the full capacity of your breath. We spend all day long breathing, thank goodness, but we are hardly aware of that full range, like that full, slow inhale and that long, slow exhale. So just finding that natural rhythm as you start to maybe lengthen both sides of the breath out. Yeah, if you need to take any movement in the neck, of course, go for it. But like if you've been sitting all day in a chair or at a computer, sometimes it feels good to just like rinse that all out. And then once you are in stillness here, go ahead and if your eyes are closed, you can open them just to see what we'll do next. So you're going to take your right hand preferably, and you're just going to make like a hang 10 symbol. So your thumb and your pinky finger, if you can see here, are extended. All your other fingers are just tucked in. So you have this. And this is going to be like your driving tool to let the breath come in one side, and then you'll exhale, right? So we want to bring in more energy into our right side, and that's what we're going to aim to do. So you're going to take your pinky finger and just plug your left nostril here. And if you feel like a little stuffed up, you can like use a tissue, blow your nose, whatever. And if this does not work for you, let it go, and you can just energetically think about it as we go through it. Okay, so you're plugging your left nostril, sitting up nice and tall. Take a breath in through your right. And then I just want you to release with your mouth closed, breathe out through both. We're going to do that again. Plug your left, breathe in through your right. Let it go, breathe out through both. And do that a few more times. Keep that up. Take a breath in through just your right. Breathe out. Let's do 5 more. Maybe even close your eyes. We call this Surya Vedana breath. Last one. And then just take both hands to your thighs, sit up tall, eyes closed. Breathe in through both. Open up your mouth. Like you're sighing it out. Do that one more time. Breathe all the way in through both. Open up your mouth. And then drop your right ear over to your right shoulder. Draw your chin down towards your chest. Roll it to the other side, left ear to your left shoulder. And chin back to your chest. And then maybe even lift your chin and look up towards the ceiling as you open your eyes. And then slowly come back through center. Stay on your knees just a little bit longer. I want you to sweep your arms out and up. You'll reach up, take a full breath in. And then above your head, I want you to interlace your fingers, but flip your palms up towards the sky here. Try not to lift your shoulders towards your ears. Press the ceiling away as you breathe in. Get really long through the front. And then exhale to send your palms forward in front of you and drop your chin to your chest, slightly round through your upper back. Do that one more time. Inhale, rise up, take a big breath in, maybe even lift your chin and do yourself. And then exhale, hands go forward, maybe chin towards your chest, and you round a little bit more. Now, reach back up, split the hands. Now exhale, twist over to your right. Nice and simple, just let the arms drape down. Doesn't have to be big. And then inhale, back up through center. Twist to the left. Now back up through center, breathe in. And then drop your right hand down, lean over to the right. Little side stretch. And then back up through center. Left hand drops and you lean over to the left. And then back up through center. You're going to remove those blocks out from underneath your feet. Bring them to the top of your mat. Hands plant. And then once you're there, just find a quick little cat-cow here. So you'll use your inhale to lift your heart, breathe in, maybe even lift your chin. And then exhale to press down into your hands, round your back for cat pose. And then start to tuck your toes. I want you to lift your hips up. Find a quick downward facing dog. Maybe pedal out your feet when you're there. Start to wake up the legs, maybe shake the head, yes and no. Waking that up. And then start to walk your feet nice and slow up towards your hands. And if you have to tiptoe and bend your knees, go for it. Once they are nice and wide, you can even hold on to those blocks at the top of your mat if that feels good. And then drape your head back down, just a forward fold here. And then sway side to side. Maybe a rock of the hips. Side to side, you might even shift the weight to one foot. And then the other, maybe picking up one heel, bending one knee, whatever it is that like feels really good to get into maybe some spaces that feel stagnant, stuck. Send a little bit more breath or prana to those spaces. And take a halfway lift here. Bring your hands to your shins or your thighs as you inhale, heart forward. And then as you exhale, I want you to drop back down. Maybe hands return to those blocks, but you fold and drop the head. One more like that. Inhale, halfway lift, heart forward. And then exhale to fold, and then bow the chest back down. Now press through your feet, sweep your arms out and up, really slow. You'll stand up and rise. Bring your hands together above your heart, and then pull them towards that space. Take a big breath in to fill up. Maybe open up your mouth again, sigh it out. Take one more like that. Full inhale. Feel your chest expand towards your thumbs. Clear it out. And then start to sweep the arms out and up. You'll stand up even taller this time. And keeping the feet hips width distance, just bend your knees, sit back into chair pose. Now we'll start to move the prana, the energy a little bit more. I want you to take a breath in to reach through your fingertips. And then exhale, tip your chest forward, sweep your arms back like wings. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, rise up. Tip the chest forward, sweep the arms back. Exhale. Last one, breathe in, stay low in the hips. And then exhale, tip forward, sweep the arms back. Now stand all the way up. Hook the thumbs overhead and take your elbows wide, maybe even lift your heart towards your thumbs. And then exhale, release the thumbs as you fold back forward. Hands to your blocks. Halfway lift, big breath in. And we're going to take a big step back with the left foot. Left foot steps back. So you're in a little bit of a lunge. Now drop your left knee down, reach the arms high, up and overhead, big breath in. And then exhale like you did before, tip the chest forward, sweep the arms back like wings. Do that 1 more time. Inhale, rise up. Tip forward, sweep the arms back. Now rise up as you inhale. Maybe the hands come together. And then right hand to your left wrist, lean over to the right. Come back up, reach the hands high. And then bring your hands down, find those blocks. I want you to drag them back slightly. As your hips shift back, pick your right toes up. Half split pose. So your right knee can even stay bent. Take a breath in, heart goes beyond your toes. Think about it reaching. And then exhale to stay or fold, bowing the chest back down. Now crawl back forward, take the blocks with you, bend through that right knee. The blocks frame your foot as you tuck the back toes. Lift the knee off the ground. Now your left hand will stay, reach the right hand up, take a big breath in, you twist to the right. And then lower that right hand back down to the ground, spin your back heel down, rise up, warrior 2. Now straighten the legs, reach the arms high, take a breath in, we call this flying warrior. And then exhale, sink down, warrior 2, just moving that prana, that energy. 1 more like that, inhale, rise up. And then exhale, sink back, warrior 2. Now reach the arms high, parallel the feet this time. Hands to your heart, forward fold, bow the chest. Take your halfway lift right here, breathe it. And exhale, elbows go back in space as you fold. Drop the head. 1 more like that, inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, you fold, soften the knees if you need to. Now it's halfway lift, chest parallel to the ground. Start to look to your right foot, bring hands back to those blocks, land in that low runner's lunge again. Now you can move those blocks off to the side, press your hands down into the ground, and then I want you to pick that right foot up, find downward facing dog. So it goes to the back of your mat. Take a big breath in, a long breath out. Now pull forward to plank pose here. So knees on or off the mat, your choice. We're going to take 1 more breath in, reaching your heart forward. And then use your exhale to lower all the way down to your belly. You'll land on the earth. Now, hands by your shoulders, lift your heart, find cobra. Nice, and then exhale, lower back to the ground. Now press through your knees, find child's pose. So knees can be as nice as wide, big toes together, your hips back towards your heels, maybe even bow your chest and your head finds the ground. Stay here, just 1 full inhale. A big exhale. And then maybe in downward facing dog. Tuck your toes, float your hips up and back. Pedal the feet again if that feels good. And then continuing on, you're gonna lift your right leg up and back. Maybe roll the ankle, wiggle the toes. Take a huge breath in right here. And then as you exhale, right foot to your right thumb. Stepping it through. Now again, your back knee will drop, sweep the arms high, take a breath in to rise. And then this time, hook the thumbs, take the elbows wide like the letter O. Now see if you can lift your heart towards your thumbs. Take 1 more breath in right here. And then release it, hands come down, framing your foot or grabbing your blocks. Tuck the back toes and lift the knee off the earth. Step left foot up to meet the right. You forward fold at the top of your mat. Halfway lift, big breath in, heart forward. Soften the knees as you fold and bow the chest one time. Press through your feet, sweep the arms out and up. You'll rise, palms come together overhead. And then exhale, pull them into your heart. Pause here. So that's one whole side of our sun salutation variation. Take a big breath in. Maybe open the mouth, clear it out. And then again, you'll rise up on your inhale, sweep the arms high. Sit back into chair pose as you exhale. And then you know it, so you don't have to think about it too much. Take your breath in to lift the heart higher. And then your exhale to tip the chest forward, sweep the arms back. Two more like that. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, tip forward and sweep. Really use the breath. Inhale, you rise. Exhale, you sweep it back. Now stand up, hook the thumbs overhead, elbows wide, maybe even lift the heart as you squeeze the legs. And then exhale to release that grip as you fold forward, hands to your blocks. Halfway lift, big breath in, heart goes forward. And then a big step back with the right foot this time. And then you'll drop that right knee, sweep the arms high, breath into rise. Like you did before, tip the chest forward, sweep the arms back, really strong like wings. One more like that, inhale, rise up, breathe it. And exhale, tip forward, sweep the arms back. Now you'll hook the thumbs overhead, just elbows wide, one last inhale. And then hands come down, grab your blocks, pull the hips back, your half split or half Hanumanasana pose. Take your inhale to lengthen. Exhale to stay or fold forward and bow the chest. And then you're already out of it. You're just gonna crawl back forward, bend into your front knee. Take the blocks with you, tuck the back toes and lift the right knee up. Right hand stays, reach the left arm up. You'll twist over to the left. And then drop that left hand back to the block just for support. And then spin that back heel down, rise up, warrior two. Use your inhale to straighten the legs, reach the arms high. And then exhale to sink back down, warrior two. Just one more like that, inhale, rise up. Sink back down, warrior two. This time you rise, parallel the feet, reach the hands high. And then with or without a bind behind you with the hands, it's your choice. You get to fold forward, dropping the head. And you can stay here, or if that halfway lift feels really good, you take it. And then exhale, bow the chest. Stay here, one more, inhale. Big exhale. Now with your hands under shoulders, halfway lift wherever you are. And then hands back to your blocks, find that low lunge facing the top of your mat. Now for a moment, you can just keep your blocks there. If that feels really good, you stay. Or take them off to the side, plant your hands, step back to downward facing dog. We all meet there. And when you're ready, pull forward, find that plank as you inhale. Knees on or off the mat. Use your exhale to lower all the way down to your belly. Lifting your heart, finding that cobra pose, let it feel good. And then exhale to lower back to the ground. Find that child's pose, balasana, knees wide. The big toes can come together. Your seat drawing back towards your heels. Your chest resting or melting towards the ground. Stay here for a breath in. Long breath out. And then meet me in downward facing dog. Hips up and back. Pedal out the feet. Shake the hips. Whatever you need here to rinse it all out. And then you'll lift your left leg, three-legged dog, roll the ankle, wiggle the toe. And then step your left foot to your left thumb. Right knee will drop, sweep the arms high, big breath in. This time just hook the thumbs and take the elbows wide. So a little bit of a back bend here. I want you to take that breath in and then a big breath out to come back to neutral. Because we forgot it on the other side, I want you to take your left hand to your right wrist and then just lean over to the left. Reach the hands back up. Bring them down to frame your foot. Take your blocks under the hands, tuck the toes, lift the knee up, look forward. Right foot comes to the top of your mat, you forward fold. Halfway lift, big breath in to lengthen. Soft knees to drop the head and refold here, bow down. Keep the blocks where they are, sweep the arms out and up, rise up. Nice and slow, bring your hands to your heart. Close your eyes. And then with your hands together, right in between that right and left, those two sides, even though we're moving around, we're moving that energy, that prana, can you still keep that balance of effort and ease? Take a big inhale to notice it. A big breath out to soften. One more like that. Fill all the way up. Clear it out. And then one more wave or flow here. You're going to sweep the arms out and up. Take a big breath in, one breath per movement. Sit back into chair pose. Now, as you inhale, lift the heart a little higher. Just one time to tip the chest forward and sweep the arms back like wings. Now I want you to stand all the way up. Hook the thumbs, elbows wide, lift the heart towards your thumb. And then as you exhale, release it and fold forward, hands to your blocks. Take your halfway lift right here, get really long. Now listen to the change, weight into that right foot. I want you to pick your left heel up towards your left seat, the left side of your seat. Start to send your left heel back, reach your heart forward. So this is warrior three. You might even soften that right knee if it's a lot in your right hamstring. Take one more big breath in, bend your right knee even more so you land in a high lunge this time. So instead of that left knee dropping down, you'll sweep the arms up. Take a breath in to lift the chest a little higher. And just one time, tip the chest forward, sweep the arms back. Think like mid-lunge here. So nice, and then rise back up, take a huge inhale. This time, T-twist. So left hand goes forward, right hand goes behind you. Just a different version of a twist. And then start to reverse here. Your left hand will go up, drop your right hand back down behind you. And then come back to that T-twist. Bring your right hand to meet the left. And then open up, warrior two. Straighten the legs, reach the arms high, flying warrior. And then exhale, sink back down, warrior two. Just one time, that's it. And then rise up, take a breath in, parallel the feet. Hands to your heart, forward fold. So just that constant moving, keeping it going. Halfway lift, big inhale to lengthen. Just an exhale to fold and bow the chest back down. Reach the heart forward as you inhale again, halfway lift. See your right foot, frame it, maybe hands come to those blocks as you find it. Now right away, hands come down, step back to plank pose. Drop your knee if you need to, and then lower all the way down to your belly, onto the earth. Lift your heart, find that cobra, let that feel so good. And then exhale, lower down towards the earth. This time I want you to press the hands and knees, tabletop pose. Take a breath in to lift your heart, find cow. And then exhale, round, find cat. And then find the middle, back to tabletop, tuck your toes, float your knees, hips back and up, downward facing dog. Take one round of breath here, fill up. If you need to, open your mouth, let go of some heat. And then you'll lift your right leg up and back, huge breath in. Now listen for this change. Right knee comes forward towards your right wrist. half pigeon. So we just slide that back leg back just a little more and point your toes straight back. Now you can bring one of those blocks underneath your right seat, any height you need it to be, just to like lift you up and give you a little bit more support. And you can stay here or start to fold and bow the chest forward. Maybe your forearms come to the ground. And if you need a little support for your neck, bring a block, that other block, maybe underneath your forehead. And don't worry, we're not here long. But think about pulling that right hip slightly back in space rather than just like sinking into it, because we're still in this sort of flow, right? But I want you to move, 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 and then pause, but still keep your breath. So breathing in and out through your nose, we call it ujjayi breath in yoga. It's like this fancy word for creating the sound of the ocean that feels that heat, that keeps you going. Just here for 2. Thinking about it like clearing out a little bit of that space. Last 1. And being mindful here as you just slowly rise back up to long arms. And then you'll tuck your back toes. You can move that block if you have it. The other block can even come to the other side. You have them at the top of your mat. With those back toes tucked, I want you to think about bringing that right knee towards your chest and then send it back. Downward facing dog. Now you get to shake the hips side to side. Pedal the feet if that feels good. And like you did at the top of class, I want you to take a breath in to rise up to your toes. Your feet can even be nice and wide as you just tiptoe your feet all the way up to your hands. Bending your knees if you need to, of course. Landing in that forward fold. Maybe bring those hands underneath or on top of your blocks rather. Halfway lift, take a breath in right here. Now bend your knees a little more. I want you to bring your hands then to your hips. Keep the blocks where they are. Press down through your feet and just stand all the way up. It doesn't have to be so big here. Just sweep the arms out and up, rise up. And bring your hands to your heart center. Close your eyes. And now maybe start to notice the physical difference between your right side and your left side. You just become like a little bit more aware, because it's really the goal of yoga, just becoming a little more aware of our body, our breath, our thoughts, both on a yoga mat and even off of a mat when we're out in our life, right? So let that practice begin or continue right here. Take a big inhale. Open your mouth. That balance of effort and ease, find it, breathe it in. Clear it out. And then here you go, last time to flow. You'll sweep the arms out and up, rise up, stand up. Last time to sit back into chair pose. Take your breath in to lift your heart higher. Tip it forward, sweep the arms back like wings, just one time. Now stand all the way up, hook the thumbs overhead, elbows wide, lift the heart higher. And then exhale to fold forward. Hands can come to those blocks for support. Halfway lift, big breath in to lengthen. Weight into your left foot, pick the right heel up, kind of like a flamingo. And then you'll send that foot back, heart forward, think like warrior 3. And then really press down through that left big toe. Let that be your anchor as you pick the hands up and land back in a lunge, softening your back knee. Reach the arms high, take a breath in to lift the heart. And then one time to tip it forward, sweep the arms back like wings. Now you'll rise up again, hook the thumbs overhead. Elbows can go wide. And then come back up through neutral, right hand forward, left hand goes behind you, you find your twist. And then you get to reverse it. Right hand will rise, big inhale. Bring both hands back forward, palms come together. Open up, warrior two. Straighten the legs, reach the arms high one time. And then exhale, sink back down, warrior two. Now this time, straighten the legs. You can reach the arms high, but you parallel the feet. Hands to your heart, forward fold. Nice and wide. Halfway lift, big inhale to lengthen. Exhale, bow the chest and fold. Now it's back to that halfway lift. Frame your left foot at the top of your mat, either hands to those blocks if that feels good, or move them off to the side, find plank pose. You'll step both feet back. Knees on or off the mat, take your breath in right here, prepare. And lower all the way down to your ground as you exhale. Lifting your heart, expanding through the chest, cobra. And then exhale, release back towards the earth. Hands and knees, you press back to tabletop. Once you're there, find a moment of pause to lift the heart as you breathe in. And exhale, press down and round your back, cat pose. Back to neutral. Tuck your toes, float your knees, hips back and up, downward facing dog. And now it's your last down dog. So take anything you need here. Maybe it's a rock of the hips, side to side. Pedaling out the feet. Maybe you're taking your feet a little bit closer together to then lift your left leg all the way up, three-legged dog. And then use your exhale to step it through, or rather your left knee comes to your left wrist for half pigeon. So not stepping it through, but your knee comes through rather. Your back leg goes long. Your right toes point back, and then take your block under your hip if that feels really good and supportive. And then just bow the chest forward to fold. Maybe come onto your forearms. Maybe your hands or your forearms rest on your blocks right in front of you. So it's not about how low you go. It's about how supportive you can feel here. Maybe even in a moment of discomfort. And then find your breath. Because your breath is like your most useful tool in those moments of discomfort, in challenge. So breathing in and out through your nose, maybe it's that like audible sound that you create. Breathing in and out. Here just for two. Last one. Now as you start to lift back up to long arms, lifting the chest, remove that block out from underneath your left hip if you have it. And then I want you to put weight onto that left hip and just mindfully swing that back leg around. And then bring your right shin or right ankle in front of your left and just take your hands behind you. I want you to tent them. So after all of that forward folding, I just want you to find a lift of the heart here. Maybe roll the shoulders back, lift the chin, lift the chest, and then you'll slowly press off and then switch whatever shin is in front. Left shin can come in front. Maybe this time you take both of your blocks and you press down into your hands on those blocks. And then see if you press down through the hands, you can find a little bit of a lift of the seat off the ground. So make sure you're not hunching forward. I want you to really think about lifting the chest up, but engaging the belly to lift a seat, maybe even lift the feet. That's not happening for me today or anytime soon within the next few months. So if you want to go for it, go for it. We call that mula bandha. So you press down through your hands, you lift your seat, maybe lift your feet, using that energy, that heat. Awesome. And then you'll sit back down on the earth. Take your blocks out from underneath your hands. Legs come out in front of you, give them a little bit of shake. And then make sure you have enough space behind you. Your heels can stay grounded, maybe even your knees start to bend. Because you take your fingers forward, but start to roll one vertebra at a time, one bone at a time, until your whole spine meets the ground. Awesome. And then once you're there, take your arms overhead, point your toes forward, maybe grab one wrist, lengthen one side, and then grab the other wrist, lengthen through the other side. Take a big breath right here. One last long body stretch. And then take your arms down along your sides. Your palms will face down, bend your knees, plant your feet, hips width distance apart. And as you plant your feet down, I want you to really keep them rooted, all four corners of your feet, as you lift your seat up, finding bridge pose. You're not here long. Gaze straight up towards the ceiling. You're just here for 3. Last fiery pose here. So in and out through your nose, you're breathing. 2. Last 1. And you'll slowly return back to the ground, maybe heel to your feet a little wider. Knock your knees together. We call this constructive rest. And then maybe even take your arms like goalposts, if that feels okay in the shoulders. Close your eyes. Return to that long breath in, all the way to the top. Long breath out, all the way to the bottom. And keep your arms as they are. Split the knees just a little wider. And then let them both fall over to the right, nice and easy. Just a simple, easy twist. And then come back up through center, both knees over to the left. And then back up through center. Pause here. If you'd like to hug your knees towards your armpits and hold on to your knees or your shins, maybe a little rock side to side. Take one more big inhale, hug everything in here. And then use your exhale to let your legs return back to the ground, nice and long. Your arms can come down along your sides. Your palms can flip up. Your eyes stay closed. And you find your final rest here, your Shavasana, we call it. And even if your mind is already onto your to-do list, I'll just ask that you stay with this shape for just a few moments, because it's arguably the most important shape that we take, especially after we move as much as we did. So think about how this practice just settles into every part of your body, right? So your feet, your legs, your hips, your core, your chest, your shoulders, your arms, your neck, even the features of your face. Take a big breath in right here. Find that ease on your exhale and sink into the ground. You're not here long. So give yourself that gift, or give yourself permission to just be right here as you are. Embracing just a little more quiet. And just come back to the awareness of your breath. Notice your next inhale all the way to the top. And your next exhale, trace it all the way to the bottom. And as you breathe, bring in a little bit more energy, a little more prana, more life to your fingers, to your wrists, and then to your toes and your ankles. Maybe even rock your head ever so gently side to side. And then just start to bend your knees. Roll to your right side, because it's the side of the sun, right? The heat, the go, go, go. And if you're tackling the rest of your day, think about it being like, here we go. To this side we go. There's still more to do. And then just keep your eyes heavy as you press yourself up to find that nice tall seat wherever you are. And bring your hands together one last time right in front of your heart. Noticing the balance between right and left. Notice that balance can exist differently every single day, and that is okay. Some days we feel like we have more go. Some days we feel like we have a lot less. And maybe we feel like we need a little more slow. No day is better or worse. It's part of the experience. So take a full breath in wherever you are. Maybe open up your mouth, let out that sigh as you empty. And take your thumb tips to the center of your forehead, maybe even lift your chin slightly. Letting this practice be a reminder of kindness to yourself. You can share that kindness in your own way with others. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me.